have finally found it. All my research has led me to the ruins of Amental, the resting place of ancient Sumerian scrolls passed down from generation to generation until the vanish of their civilization. After studying the scrolls, I believe I've made a breakthrough and can perform the ritual of Nefertep, said to bring power and immortality to those who invoke his power. The Führer will be pleased with my progress, and we can finally end this war once and for all. Tonight is the night of the blood moon. It was my destiny to be here, my whole life of preparation for this moment. My darling Erica, soon I will return with the means to stop this fickle war of man, and we can finally be together. Khanda, Nefertep, Naomi, Azra, Klaatu, Barata, Nefertep, Kandar, Kandar, Kandar.
Well, Sarge, guess we know what happened. The crowd's outside, huh? Let's get you down. In 5D!
5D?
Okay, hold on.
Are we just producing mini fucking one-man radio plays for you now? And also, why are these not honestly, Klops, why are these not 10 to 15 minute individual episodes that we're just posting as their own podcast? Seriously.
Because I'm the only one doing it.
No, you can still do a one-man show like this.
I
You
want
got
more
the
people.
time, you're already...
If you want me... No, I don't have the time. I literally did this in like 2 hours.
Okay, so hold on.
Gathering material, making the thing, putting everything together, and producing this little thing. All right?
Okay, but that last bit with the music, how
couldn't
close
help
was it to just you starting to sing Arabian Nights?
I mean, pretty close. But if I'm going to do a 15 to like 10 to 15 minute long thing, I want to have more people involved because I want different voices in it. I could totally write it. I could totally put all the sound effects and all the things. That's fine. But I need help with lines.
With the word speakies?
With the word speakies. And on that note, hi, welcome to another episode of In 5D. Got your host, Devin, who's above me.
I'm above him.
We got Klops below me.
I'm below him, just like Satan.
That's not how that works. Existential crisis here. Okay, so I'm just going to go out and say it. We're going to finish a little follow-up from last week's episode and just get that out of the way.
And the sound of the sonic boom, kids, is my eyes rolling.
Oh, no, it's his butt. Exploded. All right, Captain Marvel. The rest of us saw it, yes?
Yep.
Okay, Klops, you go first because or at least your girlfriend was more invested.
Yeah. I have my own stakes in it too, I guess. I actually rather enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I kind of agree with
I don't want to waste $10 on this movie.
No, my stakes were pretty much like it's another superhero film. Woo. Because that's how I think of all superhero films. I never really get excited for them. My big thing is like sci-fi and horror. Those are the ones I get excited for. Or schlocky B movies, kind of like the intro I just did.
I believe that genre is called action adventure sci-fi porn, and they're fantastic.
Yes, those are fantastic. But superhero movies, they've grown on me over the last decade or so. I hated Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans. I love Sam Raimi. I hated the Spider-Mans.
I don't. Two of them.
Yeah,
I hated all of them. Right. I think it's partially because of the oversaturation and partially just because I didn't have any allegiance to Spider-Man. But like, so superhero movies are kind of a relatively like new thing where I kind of enjoy them, and I definitely enjoy them with one of my girlfriends, who's a really big Marvel fan, specifically Captain Marvel. So she was super excited to go see this one.
And specifically Marvel's Captain Marvel and not DC's Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I can agree with you, Devin, on the fact that if you're not already like into superhero movies or at least tolerate them enough, you probably aren't gonna like it.
Like this isn't the one, you know? Yeah,
yeah. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy one. That one blew me away, and it's because it was like space. There's space here, you know. I get the sci-fi and the hero stuff. That's okay with me. I did really like the quips between Captain Marvel and Samuel L. Jackson, but I also liked Captain Marvel's quips just in general. Like she was a really witty character and really fun as far as I'm concerned. I have no idea what the difference is.
Of the very human moments, like the couple of times where she looks at herself and she goes like, "Yes!" It was, you know, even she, as badass as she is, couldn't contain her like small victory.
Right? Yeah, or her human emotions, right? Which is what the Kree aren't about, right? I don't know what the whole political stance is between the Kree and the other people that I can't remember the name of, the green alien transformers.
It's the Skrull.
Shapeshifters.
The Kree and the
Skrulls. Yeah, the Skrull. Apparently, I guess the Skrulls are really the bad guys in most of the Marvel, and
to the point where there's a main Fantastic Four villain called the Super Skrull, who is a Skrull who has all four of their powers at the same time, but they're all evil.
Right, yeah, except for a few. A few of them are good. Just like there's a few good Kree as well.
Fair in the Marvel universe, like the Kree are also dicks.
Yeah, they're good, but they're not like nice.
No, right. So I actually read up a little on the history of this just after the fact because I didn't want it to taint my my viewing of it. And apparently, the Skrull used to be good till the Kree fucked them real hard, and then they became evil. And then they both just like took turns being who the biggest dick in this part of the galaxy is.
And I can kind of see that. I actually really liked the fact that the Skrull leader, I can't remember his name,
General something,
was like, you know, my hands are filthy with this war too. You know, it shows a very like different element, right? That it's enemy is a perception, right? You know, I mean, it's, one person's enemy is another person's ally, and vice versa. And so I like that.
It's kind of like the argument of like, I'm not saying I'm not fucked up.
Right, there's that, but it's also like there is no right side, right? It's war,
right,
kind of thing, and I like that. I like that like a lot in it. I still don't know what you meant by like a Star Wars moment that you had.
So can I fill that in because I know what you're talking about? Do you remember Attack of the Clones?
Yeah.
Second one.
The second one actually. It might be Revenge of the Sith. Anyways,
no, that's the third.
Yeah, but the fight where there's like a bunch of ships and just like it. Do you remember that part where it's Anakin and Ben and they're doing their whole fighter thing?
Yeah, they did that in a couple different movies. But she wasn't actually in a ship. She was actually just flying around. Yeah.
But it was very reminiscent of that, like. I got a very moment because the visuals are very similar. You have a close shot of the main protagonist and a bunch of like shooty, gunny stuff going up in the background, and then I just felt like the shots were really similar.
Yeah, and mine was less specific. My thought was just more. It was very much filmed. Like even so, when they're running through the canyon, I realize it's not at all a direct link to a pod racer, but it felt like a pod racer scene to me. The way it was filmed just felt very Star Wars-y to me. It was these big, grand kind of space fights, but really, it's like 3 ships and a lady flying around. And I just feel like there was a cleaner way to shoot that than what they did. It kind of felt like the last part of Aquaman to me. It was just Aquaman. It was because it was cluttered. This was trying to make something that wasn't cluttered feel cluttered. Like they wanted it to seem like this really full space battle. It really wasn't, though. It was more of a dogfight. And I just don't feel like it, to me, it just didn't read that way.
I didn't really get that. It didn't feel to me like they were trying to make it perceived as like it's a bigger dogfight than what it was. It did seem like a dogfight, sure, whatever. But it didn't I didn't get that Star Wars vibe. I got the Star Wars vibe in Guardians of the Galaxy when they're coming to like the mining planet, and the shot is directly behind them in the cockpit, and you can see the outline of the ship right now. Like to the point where I turned to my girlfriend at the time and was like, "That's no moon. That's a Death Star." Right? Like that's
You're not the only one to have made that joke.
I'm sure, but like I'm just saying that to me was like a very Star Wars moment, and I liked it for it. This didn't. I was like looking out. I was like, "Am I missing it? Is it?"
And actually,
what is it that I'm missing?
The shot that I thought was very. I don't want to say derivative because that has a negative connotation, but it was very akin to the canyon shot that you mentioned. That was a lot more like Independence Day to me.
You know,
I can kind of see that a little more.
That's what my wife brought up. She's like, "Yeah, it felt." Like, I was like, "It's very Star Wars," and she goes, "It's very Independence Day." And I was like, "Yeah, I buy like, either one of those."
That whole canyon and even the last the last dogfight, I guess, sort of. Once they're back in Atmo,
which I'll give it this: if they're trying to draw an Independence Day, '90s film.
Yeah, there was
I'll applaud that actually. At least that one's a '90s film.
All right, so Clubs. Before I go off on my, I'm not even gonna call it a rant, but whatever. Give it a rating.
Do you have any other major notes before your rating? We kind of derailed you.
I just think it's kind of weird how they left that one Skrull to die by the hand of the Kree guy when they were all in the spaceship leaving when nobody had to be there. Seemed like a weird sacrifice, but okay. All in all, I'd probably give it.
It's fair.
I'd probably give it about a 6.5 to 7 Skrull out of 10. It was pretty decent. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. I liked the fact that there was no real like active love interest kind of thing, though they touched upon some things of like how she was obviously involved with her best friend, right? You know, kind of thing. I thought that was kind of neat. But I did like that it didn't have an active one.
So okay, so 6 out of 10 is what you're saying.
6.5, 7.
Okay,
it's pretty decent, solid like Marvel film. Probably not up there with like my top of like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and like Thor Ragnarok, right? You know, but definitely in the top 5 to top like 10.
Okay, so let me start with a rating first because I want you to understand where I fall. I would give it a solid. If we're going 10 flirkins, I would probably give it like a 6.5.
Right, I mean, that's kind of where I was at.
But solid, right? And here's why. Like, it wasn't terrible, so I wouldn't like give it an F or anything like that. I liked the no love thing. I thought that was great, and I also liked some of the visuals were really good. The original opening sequence, well, not even the opening sequence, but like the first fight that they get into, I thought was really well done during the ambush.
Right.
I thought that was well done. I had a couple of issues with Brie Larson in the sense where she did really well with happy moments and those emotions, but I didn't feel she emoted enough during the sad parts. Like, I felt like she was just smirking the whole time.
Well, she's supposed to be emotionally stunted because of the Kree. Keep that in mind.
Sure, but like even the moments where she's supposed to be like recalling these things and when you know when they do all the memory sequences, like even then there wasn't enough emotion when and I'm trying to like be not completely but pretty spoiler free, but like there were a bunch of sequences where I thought she just kind of smirked through it. I liked all the 90s references, of course. A couple of them, after a little while, I was like, another TLC song, really? Or was it TLC or Destiny's Child? I forget. But, yeah.
That was one thing I kind of noticed, and I didn't touch on it because it's, I guess, not for me to touch on. If this was trying to have like a nostalgic 90s soundtrack, like Guardians of the Galaxy had a nostalgic soundtrack, it did not work on me. I recognized like 2 or 3 songs in this whole movie, if that.
Yeah, it was kind of the same.
That is one thing where I can 100% say that the nostalgia that they used here wasn't for our demographic.
What demographic was it for?
Ones that like pop and
it was very pop oriented, very a lot of female singers. I think the only one we would really recognize, like, well, maybe there's another one, but there was like No Doubt, where I was like, oh yeah, that's No Doubt.
Yeah,
my
that one I recognize.
Song relentlessly. But with the music, I would agree. But with lots of the other references, I would like most of the visual references were for everybody.
Oh yeah, no. I was talking about music specifically.
Sorry, I don't mean to disrupt, but like, I feel that they really missed an opportunity when they were playing that No Doubt song to have it come on when the dude hit the jukebox.
Yes, I was so kind of annoyed that wasn't what happened.
Yeah, it broke me out of it. I was like, what?
I literally didn't even notice.
See,
I did.
So here's where I land. Like, that song playing during that scene felt a little forced, but I think it wouldn't have been as forced if it was coming from the jukebox. Like,
right.
Like, that would, because there was memorabilia all over the place. So I'm like, yeah, you bring that in. I will say that I disagree with a lot of the critics when they were trying to say that, like, this was a lot of female empowerment rhetoric. I think it was done. It was fine. There was
nothing felt heavy-handed.
Yeah, like the one thing.
No, and they touched upon it really well.
There was one thing. There was that one thing, the fucking motorcycle thing. That was the only part where I was just like, all right, really?
Oh, you mean where he's like smile or whatever?
Yeah, like.
But that was completely because of. So that was an extra scene that they added on.
Again, that felt forced. But everything else was fun. Like, if the guy was just coming in and being a dick, or like he throws her some money and says, "Watch my bike," or some stupid shit like that, just being an asshole, totally fine. But that scene specifically, that felt heavy-handed.
I didn't think it did. I thought it was pretty good, especially once I learned the context of it.
Yeah, it's just, it's whatever. But yeah, no, most of the other stuff, it was just fine. It was great. I like
how they handled the villain, right? They didn't kill him. Spoiler, fuck you. This will be several weeks after this movie came out at that point.
That last scene I thought was hilarious. I don't need your approval.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was good.
Great.
Because it looked like it was totally gonna go stereotype. I was halfway through an eye roll, and then that happened, and I was like, okay, well done.
Well, then, yeah,
it was very. You know what that reminded me of? Do you remember? I can't even remember the name of the movie, but the scene was right in the trailer. Christopher Walken plays some guy, and the guy's like, "Give me your money," and Walken goes, "No."
The guy goes, 7 Psychopaths.
But I have a gun. I don't care. It just reminded me, like, you do this for the pride. No, blame him.
So actually, it felt like Indiana Jones to me.
Yeah, it felt like Indiana Jones to me, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the dude's like doing the whole sword movements, and he just goes.
I don't like Indiana Jones, so my
and shoots him.
Draw that conclusion.
It was so good. That was one of the best scenes in that movie.
It was a really good scene, and the backstory behind that is hilarious.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be a sword fight scene, and he just was sick.
Yeah,
and so he just decided to shoot him.
He had like dysentery or some weird stuff come out of his butt during that. But yeah, like he just shoots the guy.
Stuff.
But anyways,
it was great.
So back to Captain Marvel. I like the effects of the de-aging. I thought that was actually really well
it was
done.
Spot on.
A couple of times with Coulson, he had a little bit of he kind of looked like Data in a couple of shots. It was too smooth. You know what I'm saying? But
I just like the Data reference.
But Samuel Jackson, the de-aging was completely spot on. I'm annoyed about the Avenger thing, but whatever, I can let that go.
Oh, the changing the name?
Yeah, I'm just like, dude.
Wait, they changed the name of the Avengers movie?
So no, they didn't change the name of the Avengers. What happened was, like,
oh, when he's typing it up.
Yeah, it was just so that felt forced, but whatever.
I thought it was good. It makes sense too with that character, right? Because now he's had his first extraterrestrial kind of experience, right? You know, and he obviously really liked her. He thought she was great, right? You know, it wasn't like a horrible experience with this alien race. You know,
to further that more, name another character that you would call him chummy with. He actually has rapport with her. He's
Maria Hill.
That's even that. It's very like
He's the boss.
co-worker. He's the boss.
Yeah.
She's taking orders. Because you could make that argument for Black Widow, but again, she's an employee. He's sending her on task and mission. He'll throw out the occasional chummy jab, but Miss Marvel, it's just straight up like they like each other.
I have to say though, it's because
there was a genuine friendship.
This was before he was the hard-ass director, because he was a lot more jovial in this and a lot less serious than he normally plays it in the other movies.
Oh, sure. But you have to wonder how that's going to affect, like, the next movie. Like, this is his old friend who's back. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's a missed opportunity to not further that.
Yeah, I know. It just felt weird because Captain America is the first Avenger, and I'm like, come on.
She wasn't an Avenger. She left before he could hire her.
Uh-huh. Whatever. Semantics.
I also really like the scene after that with the cat, or the Flargan, or whatever.
Flargan?
Yeah, the Flargan.
I thought that was really fucking dumb. I'm sorry. He loses
I
his
thought
eye
it was
because
great.
of a fucking cat.
That's like...
Well,
they just Claptrap's birthday level fun right there.
They had to explain how Loki got a hold of it.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine, but I'm talking about him losing his eye because of it.
Oh, how else did you want him to lose his eye?
Some badass way like fucking Fury should. It was just so fucking wasted.
I just think that was also great. That was hilarious. That was a funny moment.
It gave the one dude the great, I think it'll be fine. No.
Yeah.
Hey, and it was an epic thing. Like, it would have taken his whole face if it really wanted to.
Yeah, no, like again, there were little moments like the response from the dude where he's shaking his head no, that was hilarious. But again, I thought that cheapened Fury's character a little bit. I just didn't like it.
I also liked when he was holding it and like he just like put his hand out and like it just like ate all the troopers.
Yeah,
like I thought that was really well timed. And then like the next time he's like,
there were fun things with the cat. I feel like it was a little overblown, but
I didn't bring this up in my first review, but now that we're talking about it, I have to bring this up. I'm really sick of this scene in Marvel movies. The scene where a thing grabs a hold of people and then slams them around in the hallway.
Yeah,
Hulk did it to Loki. Doctor Strange's cape did it to someone. Groot did it to someone. It's
like
happened.
3 times.
It happened with the Flargan. We keep doing this scene. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny. It happens in the Marvel movies, and I literally go, ugh.
Well,
every time. It's not even amusing.
No, I beg to differ. I think that one in Captain Marvel was the most amusing out of all of them.
No, the Hulk one.
Old hat.
The Hulk
no,
one.
I mean after that, like how it just became a running theme. Like it's been used by Groot like 4 times. It's like, come on, Groot, learn a different moveset. But I thought it was appropriate for that one, and I really enjoyed it at that moment because it was kind of a comedic moment tied in with it.
I can see it coming now. Anytime something grabs a group of people, we're gonna slam them around. Like I can't with that gag.
It's like the Scrubs joke, dude. The one where someone says something snarky, walks one way, but actually meant to go the other way. Like how many times do they do it? Like sometimes writers they have crutches.
I mean, I guess maybe you're going for comedy suicide, but I think the problem is comedy suicide spread out this far doesn't work.
It doesn't work, no, because it's like callback humor across genres, and you're like, what? Right. It's that part. Okay, we've talked way too much about Captain Marvel, considering it's the second time we talked about it. Talk about anything else. Hey, I played a video game.
What game did you play?
I played The Division 2.
Okay, let's talk about another. No, I'm kidding.
No, hey, so this is what happened to me Friday. Yes, no, Saturday. This is what happened to me Saturday. I was very thoroughly disappointed in Anthem, so I didn't get the game on launch, which was previous, and I went and I actually watched a bunch of reviews and scoured the news to see if there were any server breakings or major bugs or all that shit that you're used to getting from AAA studios nowadays. And it was fucking radio silence. It was like no one's complaining about loot being
at this point,
fucked.
we're all super glad when one of them can do it correctly.
You know how fucked up that is? That I had that feeling too. I was like, nothing's broken. This is fucking weird. I'm like, I'm happy. Why am I happy? This should be the fucking norm. And then I watched a couple reviews and people were saying like, look, not only did they do the good stuff, just today, like I blew through this whole thing this week and played straight in like the end game. It's actually making me drop Anthem and Destiny. Like it seems a lot more interesting, and I'm like, okay, so I gave it a whack. Because this is in 5D, my gripes are gonna go first. The UI is cluttered as shit still. Like both of you guys played the original. You guys remember how they did the tile things and like hold this button or press it to do this thing, but slightly different than that same thing. And that with their menu was cluttered as shit. That's still a thing. They added a new mechanic to the survivability of the character that I really liked. I mentioned a little bit on the beta, but I think they're doing it well. So I understand that a lot of this stuff isn't 100% realistic, of course. But now you can switch out plates for your plate carrier. And the way it works is if you take a bunch of damage, your armor goes down, and you can't just bump up your armor. You have to be carrying these extra plates to switch out on your plate carrier, which is your bulletproof vest. And if you're in combat, it doesn't just fucking happen. You have to manually sit there and hold a button while folks are shooting, and you get it in. While you're getting it in, if they're still shooting you, you're still taking damage. The new set is taking damage because they're like, just because you're doing this action doesn't mean it doesn't work. But if you're not in combat and the battle starts, your character just organically does it and switches them out. And you can only carry X because, these things fucking weigh a lot. I like that. Even though you don't do a weight thing with the character, you do a slot thing, just like the last one. But I like that they added that mechanic. So I thought that was good. They have little takeover things that give you boosts if you've taken over part of a district, which I thought was great, because the enemy can take them back. So it isn't like the public events in Destiny where it's just over and over the same hot garbage. And all of those little items that you used to find in the other one just to sell, different of these control points or outposts need different things. So you give them stuff and they give you bonuses and things like that. I thought that was really well in. I'm only a couple of hours in, so I can't give you a 100% like, oh my god, this is the greatest. But so far, I feel they've taken the original and they've definitely improved upon it versus it being just derivative and kind of garbage. The graphics are gorgeous as well, which definitely helps. I haven't gotten much story, but with games like this, I tend to do a bunch of the side missions first just to get a feel for the game and the weapons. I will say the weapons feel a little underpowered, but I'm only level 6, so we'll see how it progresses. And headshots seem to matter more than they did in the last game, both against you and against the other players. Like, I've one-shotted and been one-shotted from full health from certain headshots. So the AI of the enemies seems a little bit better. Like they have these particular enemies that will just charge at you. You stagger them, they can keep coming, and some of them will like continue to drag and try to shoot you. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Overall, depending on how the story plays out, I'm looking to give this at 8.5 out of 10. Fucking virus dollar bills, yo, it's a thing.
Okay.
But yeah, did anyone else play the beta or try it out?
Nope.
Okay.
I completely negated it. The reason I got into Anthem is because Sam was like, "It's so good, come over and play it." And I was like, "I'll spend $15 on the premiere and then go into it and then rip it apart afterwards." And actually, I thought it was okay until I got to a mission. Well, I mean, I already reviewed it. You can check out that review in the previous episode.
But I remember. Garbage. Okay, yeah. You know what? The Ultimate Editions or any of that aren't fucking worth it. Pay fucking the normal price. I think that's worth it. Check it out. I recommend it.
Well, I can kind of jump off of that for a thing I was going to talk about, because I think I'm starting to realize something. I don't think I'm that interested in the third-person shooter anymore.
I think my problem is looter shooters. Specifically looter shooters.
Well, so I started playing The Last of Us.
Womp womp womp.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah. Just like
a second?
it's, you know, third-person shooter, exploration, collect stuff, craft stuff, all that. Game was praised when it came out. Like, people loved this game. People were like demanding a movie and a show and sequels and comics. People wanted more of this. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play it when it came out, but I'm playing it now. And I can say, playing it now, I don't understand what all the buzz was about. It's not a bad game. It's not a poorly constructed game. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing what was so crazy awesome about this game that made
How far
people
are you in
demand.
this game?
I think I'm about halfway.
Okay.
I'm like 10, 12 hours, something like that.
For me, the reason I really liked that game wasn't so much the game mechanics themselves of being a third person over the shoulder run and gun / exploration game. It was the story that went along with it and how you can approach different situations for stuff. So spoiler alert, in case you haven't played The Last of Us and don't want any spoilers, leave now.
Well,
but
he hasn't finished it.
I know. I'm just saying it's that's not come I asked how far he was, because it's going to be pertaining to the part that he's been part of.
Okay.
Like the beginning part where the outbreak happens, and
that was the opening scene was great.
Like that was very emotional and very good. There's another one where you're getting chased by an the armored car, right? You know what I mean? Or like the group that's doing that. There's a really fun thing that you can do that you may not realize you can do, is when you're running, I had a glass bottle or a brick or something, and the dude that pops around the corner to like try to stop you, you can throw that at him and like fucking just wreck him as you're just going by and continue on, right? And it's very fluid. And that's why I liked that kind of thing. And later on, if you were to play the multiplayer, I'm going to leave the story.
I will never play the multiplayer.
Right. They use those mechanics that they use in the game that you can play around with the crafting and stuff to do different builds. One of my favorite things was I wasn't actually a gun guy in the multiplayer. I was a melee character, and I specialized in crafting smoke bombs and shivs, because shivs instantly down to person. So what I would do is I would run, I would hide, and then like the group of enemies, because it's 4v4 or 5v5 or whatever, would start to come out, right? And then I would hit them with the smoke bomb, right? And they would all start choking, because the animations, you start choking for a couple seconds. You have about 3 to 5 seconds where they can't do anything in this smoke. And I'd run up with my baseball bat with a shiv, hit one, right? Instantly down them, shiv the other one in the neck with my other shiv, instantly down them. And just about that time, the third one is starting to come out of it and scrambling for his gun. And I'd run up and beat the crap out of him with my baseball bat, and then go around specially executing them with the like Y button or whatever, gaining extra points. And it was awesome. It was this thrill of like, I just fucking outplayed all of you motherfuckers, and I didn't even use a gun, right? And you can do this in the combat in single player. You can do similar things.
So here's my problem. I don't know if it's this game. I don't know if it's the games that I just got off playing, because they are the complete opposite style gameplay of something like this. I loathe any part of this game that comes down to a straight up gun battle. I hate it. It's the worst parts. I'm enjoying the city, I'm enjoying the storyline, and any scene where it's completely possible for me to just creep out the door without ever running into anybody and leaving, that is 100% of the... I literally went through pains going through it's like the first time you go to a hunter camp, or they're part of the city or whatever, and they're like, there's a bunch of them, so the girl's gonna sit up in the window and she's gonna be your sniper, and I'm like, great, that's gonna do nothing. But she's gonna sit up in the window and be your sniper, and there's like all the... So I tried playing it aggressive and like take them all out, but there's like 15 to 20 fucking dudes, and I'm like, I don't have the ammo for this, there's not enough shit around to craft for this, fuck this. Snuck around the edges, waited, snuck around the edges, got my way upstairs, found a dude by a door, was like, there's literally nobody else upstairs. Shiv, open door, hop down a thing, and it's like, generate cutscene. Okay, good. Fuck it. not doing any of that because it's
Well,
hot garbage. So hold on. I am
Okay.
not done talking about the mechanics of this game.
that's fine.
Do you have any idea how jarring your atmospheric mechanics are when your AI is so dumb that Bill looks at me and goes, "Be real quiet. They can hear you like that and they'll get at you," or something stupid, and then he literally runs across the room, bumps into a clicker, and then dives to the counter next to the clicker, and the clicker's still going like, "I ain't seen nothing, but don't you accidentally tilt the joystick too hard or you're fucking dead." I
Yeah.
also don't like how all of the characters you run into are infinitely stronger than you are. When I was at the chunk with Bill has a machete that's a one-hit kill. So what I did, because I was like, I'm not spending my items while fucking Bill is here. This is Bill's bullshit. Bill can take care of this. I went through that whole section standing behind Bill. I'd throw a glass bottle at somebody to get its attention, let it run at Bill, and Bill would grab it and stab it with the machete. There was no point in engaging in combat during that whole section with Bill. I didn't kill shit unless it got around him because he was wrestling with something. And speaking of wrestling, that's another huge problem. They make you pretend like you can accomplish things with melee in this game, except you can't, because they will throw a mix of runners and clickers at you every single time, and the second you're done fighting a runner or two runners, a clicker grabs you and instant kills you. One of the armored guys grabs you and instant kills you. There are so many things in this game that can grab and instant kill you, and yet the game really pretends like, we're not going to give you that much ammo, you'll just melee your way through it and you'll be fine. No, you won't! That is a fucking fallacy that this game has convinced you is real, and it's fucking not. You're better off just leaving. 9 times out of 10, if you can just skirt your way the fuck around something, you're better off doing that. And I don't like games that go, you can do things really whatever way you want. There are certain sections where you were shoehorned. There are times where I had to, no matter how hard I tried, spend all my ammo and items fighting through a group of guys because there's no fucking way to sneak around them. And there's other times where it's like, no, really, you're just gonna need to sneak through. You can't take this many people with the amount of equipment you have left after what you've gone through. You are shoehorned into it for the most part, or you have to get insanely lucky and sink 20-30 minutes into a 5-minute encounter to sneak around it. It's not what it pretends to be.
So-
but again, the parts that are fun are fun. If I could just do nothing but make shrapnel bombs, the game would be so much better, because the shrapnel bombs are the most useful thing ever. One of the things I really like, the Molotov kind of sucks, but what I do like is if something runs through it, they don't instantly burst into flames like a lot of games do. They actually have to catch and have some time to wrestle with you before the fire catches on them enough to back them off. I actually like that. Like, it sucks because it makes the Molotov not quite as useful with stopping power, because things can just run through it. But it is a little bit more realistic, and I like that mechanic existing. You know, I just feel like there's less useful things than there are useless things, and the game pretends like you can do all this stuff. But lots of those things aren't options for many types of enemies, for many points in the game. Like, fuck, headshotting clickers gets slightly too close, and they literally move all the fuck around.
Yeah, that
And then
part,
they take like
yeah.
6 shots to put down, and I'm like, what do you want me to do here?
That's funny.
Yeah, so my encounter with this game, like from a single player point of view, there are definitely parts where it's like I have to fucking fight everything. That's lame. But 9 times out of 10, when I play these kind of games, I go for the stealth option.
See,
And-
I'm usually not a stealth guy, and I usually
See-
I don't like the stealthy bits, and I feel like most games, at least, it might be real difficult to get through it going guns a-blazing, but you can do it, and I will gut that out. But the problem is this game gives you so little resources. Sure, go to this really, really, fight that you're having a hard time with. It's not meant to be an epic fight, but you're having a hard time. Spend all your stuff on it, and right around the corner, here's a giant fucking group of guys that you are not going to have a good time against unless you have equipment.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, is I think it's just 2 different play styles from what you're used to. I love stealth. I love stealth games. Metal Gear Solid, fucking was it Splinter Cell? Like, I loved all those things.
I specifically hated like Splinter Cell and Siphon Filter when those came out. I was
I
like,
loved
Wait,
Siphon
wait,
Filter.
hold on. You shut your whore mouth about Siphon Filter. That was not a stealth game, and it was awesome.
It could be a stealth game though. They were
It
trying to
could
do
be, but fuck that. It was great. You just snipe everything in the face, and then you've got that electric thing that if you electrocute someone in the face, the whole body lights on fire. It was great.
Here's my experience with Siphon Filter. We got it when we were kids. I don't even think it was the first Siphon Filter. I think it was a Siphon Filter, maybe. But you start off and you're on like a train. And you gotta like take out this guy stealthy and drag him away somewhere. Yeah. And literally between me, my brother, my other brother, and my sister, none of us could beat this first encounter in like the month that we tried to play it. Then we gave up and we never played Siphon Filter because I was like, I don't understand stealth games. Apparently, I am not capable.
No, like I'm usually with you on that. I don't like stealth games.
I love stealth games, and I've gotten really good at them. So playing this stealthy is how I did every encounter when I could. Even the big ones that have a lot of enemies and stuff, unless it was specifically, I have to run from this armored vehicle, it was, I'm going to stealth and stab everybody in the neck.
And see, I don't even stealth and kill anymore because your shivs break and then you're fucking out of those. I got lucky. That one big encounter with the hunters, I snuck around, and I took forever to do it, but I snuck the fuck around that stuff because I was like, I'm not going to be able to kill these guys. I'm not going to do it. I can't do this. So I have no choice but to just not engage.
I mean, it
also,
really...
as you progress through the storyline and through the stuff, you do get a little bit more access to like supplies, and you're able to run and gun a little bit more if you want. I just always kept up the stealth because it just seemed like the thing to do. It seems like the atmosphere is really for that.
Fair enough. So I know I find myself saying this a lot on this show, but I'm making it sound like I really don't like this game. I'm more saying I don't love it. It's fun. I'm going to play it. I'm going to beat it. And I'll probably do the long road the day after, whatever the little...
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
I'll probably end up doing that as well, because I do find it enjoyable. And like, I love the exploration. I like the not a zombie take. There is one other problem I have with this game, though, that's really, really hurting it for me. It feels a lot like Telltale's Walking Dead, and Telltale's Walking Dead does it better.
Well, they also came after.
Well, right, but you'd think something that came after would try and take that and improve upon it, but with this,
I
you're
think
supposed
Telltale's
to get
Walking
that there's
Dead
this...
came after.
Yeah, I'm saying Telltale's came after Last of Us.
Did it?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
You 100% on that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to look it up. I'll take your word for it. Either way, though, one still did it better. And it's like just when you have two things so similar, like this is like saying, well, RC's like basically Coke. Sure, but if you like Coke better, you're not going to go to the grocery store and occasionally buy RC. You're only going to take it when it's the only thing that's there. If I can play Walking Dead or I can play this, I'm going to play Walking Dead because, and not just gameplay, not just, honestly, the story, this dynamic of the older person and the younger person and finding a common ground and relating and having a dynamic where they care about each other and don't want each other to die, need each other to progress through what they need to happen. On every count, the play between Clem and I'm forgetting his name because he dies. Spoiler, he fucking dies. But that whole relationship was so impactful. This isn't. This is...
See, I found it really impactful.
It's kind of generic. Sorry, but I've seen this set up a bunch of times, and there's nothing overtly likable about either one. And honestly, my problem with games like this, I hate escort missions, and this kind of feels like Escort Mission the game, but there are games that have done it right. Again, Walking Dead, Clem does not feel like a burden. Never does Clem feel like she is dragging you down for the sake of making a game hard. Another one that did it really well, BioShock Infinite. They gave you what's-her-face, but the game flat out tells you, like, hey, man, she's going to run around with you, but she'll just take care of herself, and she'll even, like, be useful at points in time and do shit. So I just got to a part where he's starting to give her guns. Maybe that will help her feel less like a burden. Bill was a one-man death army. Loved Bill. Bill was great. Tess was okay, though I feel like Tess's bullets did less damage than my bullets. That pissed me off. I feel like Tess would unload a clip, and she gets all the fucking bullets she wants, but she needs them because apparently they're BBs. Bill was a death machine. Ellie, that's her name, right? So far, Ellie feels moderately useful at random points in time. Like, there's been a few times where she'll pop out and shiv a guy to get him off of me, and I'm like, that's good looking out. And then other times, she's just standing by a door.
Well, that might be part of the AI, but I don't know. I honestly liked the story for what it was. I thought it was actually a very good tell of like a retelling of this kind of
world more than I like this story.
See, as you progress, though, you learn more and more about what's his name. I can't remember his name. Joel.
And again, yeah, I haven't finished it, and I'm gonna give it more time, and maybe the story will earn points back. But it's more that I'm not seeing that little spark of something special that made people flip their shit over this game. It's not a bad game.
Well, I also think
I don't like, but so does every game. There's no fucking perfect game out there, in my opinion. Everything's got something it could do better.
Right.
This has problems, but I don't see it.
But I think that you kind of missed the bandwagon with it. You know what I mean? Like me with WoW. I fucking can't see why anybody would love WoW except for the fact that it's nostalgia for them because they played it when they were 14 and happened to have a good time online because it was their first online game.
Last of Us isn't that old, and like I'm not a big bandwagon guy. I like lots of shit that other people loathe, and I loathe lots of things that other people love. I'm not really here for what other. I just don't get what the mass consciousness was like. Horizon Zero Dawn. I get what was special about that game. It had some hard to pull off mechanics that flowed beautifully in an interesting world with a compelling story and beautiful graphics. This is a few clunky mechanics, an interesting world, a cliched story, and some fun gameplay moments. I don't get what that thing was. There's no mechanic in this that was groundbreaking and crazy and dope. There's no storytelling element that hasn't been explored in this medium as a, let alone others. There's no, and again, maybe it'll be some twists along the way, but so far there's nothing that's been totally left field. No fun, interesting character who there's nothing special here.
Well, I just think that yes, it has this cliche story, but there's also little things that happen that, like, it's just a dialogue box. You know what I mean? Like, it just happens as they're moving along, and they happen to be saying something about it, right? And, like, it made the world feel really alive, and these characters are relatable to some extent, but it also made them feel like they're actually characters instead of the, like, bland kind of, like, beep-boop, we're just grizzled, like, big guy and...
But at that point, you're just giving a story credit for not having bad character work. That's par. That's not special. That's just doing your
job. But in our industry where you can say, "Oh, the controls are great this time and haven't been fucked up,"
that's fair,
and that's a good standard. That's why that's so good, is because it actually pulled off storytelling
this game
well.
Stands out for not sucking.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
All right. I buy it. Sure. If that's what it was, I guess I buy that. Like,
that is what it was.
Okay.
It was an amazing story because it wasn't shitty. And it was in this, like, the age of, like, brown bag fucking military shooters.
Okay, yeah. It was like the end of the PS3, beginning of the PS4. You did have a lot of, like, Call of Duty, Modern Brofare.
Yeah, so that's the era that's what I'm saying. When you missed the bandwagon for it, it was that time frame of, like, these all suck.
It was good because it wasn't different in the world. It was different for that particular moment.
Yeah.
Okay. I buy that. That's fair. Well, then for anybody who didn't play it, you're probably not missing out on anything crazy having not played it. Like, there's no real need. Like KOTOR. If you didn't play KOTOR, seriously, go play KOTOR. It's really good. And if you can get a computer that'll run it okay, because it's a little wonky now.
Oh, if you have an iPad, you can run it on your iPad.
Oh, nice. And actually, you know what? Just go get it for Xbox. Go buy an Xbox and KOTOR will run fine. But KOTOR is one of those games you should definitely go back and give a try if you never gave it a try. The Last of Us, if you never gave it a try, there's really no need. Unless you're super, super curious about it. But other than that...
I never gave it a try.
I'd also say that if you like stealth kind of games and like an apocalyptic setting, you might like this one.
And I would say go play a lot of other games that do that. Play Batman Arkham Asylum and then play Gears of War right after, and essentially you'll just get that.
Well,
no, those are
it
two
really-
different experiences.
It sounds
I'm
like
not
your
saying they're the
opening
same thing. I'm
statement
saying
though
that those
wasn't
two
right.
things combined make this.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend going.
You get
Bonsai.
the apocalyptic cover-based shooter and the crazy hop-around stealth in a dark environment. That's pretty much this game.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go that far with like
Except you
that.
can't jump in this.
Nope,
There's no jump button.
no jumping. He's white. Can't
Yep.
jump.
White men can't jump. We're almost out of time. Eduardo, do you want to do the one last thing, or do you want to do FML?
Well,
We're at
I
that
was
weird...
I was gonna say that it sounds like your statement was wrong. It's not that you're getting tired of third-person shooters. You just don't like stealth games.
Yeah, for that genre.
Like, I'm really I cannot think of a third-person shooter that's going to be coming out soon that I'm really giving even a slight shit about. I
Okay.
think I'm done with them. I think this is the one that opened my eyes to like I'm not interested in what this genre has to offer anymore.
That to me is looter shooters in general, I think, and that's kind of my problem. Is like going through Anthem, kind of showed me that as well. It's like it was
Right.
okay, and then I'm just like I'm kind of over this.
I'm kind of done with that. Like I'm still in for a first-person shooter. I'm still in for something more like a Batman, where it's like a stealthy, punchy, but like this chest
Pro
high
Mad Max.
wall. Chest high wall, third person shoot, sneak up on a guy and shiv him kind of. I'm Gears of War. I'm done with Gears of War. I'm done with Last of Us. I'm done with Division. I'm done with the third person shooter, I think. Unless something crazy dope comes out, I think I'm done.
All right. Well, I guess you're done. I think
I'm done.
actually, unless anybody's got something crazy, I think we're pretty close. Let's talk about some FML.
Small.
All right.
What was my score? I didn't even check.
You
You
are.
can't see it now. You have to go on the website for it. The app won't show it.
Yeah, well, you just gotta click over
Yeah,
to
you
the
just have to
last
click
week.
back
Oh, is that
on-
how that works? I've
Yeah.
never bothered to try that.
Clearly. So
So
I
that
did
was-
terrible this week.
And it wasn't even because you didn't play. You just legitimately did poorly.
Actually, I didn't do poorly. You guys had me by like 5 million at the most.
But we sucked too. The top was like 120
Yeah.
or something. So we all did poorly. You just did extra poorly.
Yeah, apparently this random kid movie wins it.
Which is funny though, because everybody keeps talking about how Captain Marvel is topping the box office. I think this is one of those algorithm things. It was price of the movie versus how much the movie made. But this does show one thing you and I mentioned, Eduardo, and you actually didn't go against it. Me and Klops went against it.
Yeah.
Though. You never bet against the kids movie.
And
You
I actually was
never
like,
bet
all right,
against
we
movie.
won't bet against kids movie, and I still got boned this week.
You bet against the
You
wrong
were like-
kids movie.
You beat me by like a $500,000.
I know.
Yeah, 600,000, almost 700,000. But yeah,
Show the other Cineplex.
he just wants to show because he was good at both of them.
Oh, was I? I did not know this.
Yeah, you're full of shit and you know it. But yeah, you were a lot closer on this one. But, yep. Zero
Blam, and
fucks.
that's because I played one of that, what is it? It's called like Adventure Park or something?
Movie card for
Wonder
Wonder Park.
Wonder Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun time.
That seems like the kind of, I saw the trailer for that. Honestly, it seems like the kind of movie that's just looking to spin off into a show.
Pretty much.
I didn't even know what it was, so I didn't pick it. But obviously,
It's about a
was
little
wrong.
girl
It's a
who
piece of
gets
shit.
like a theme park that runs on her imagination or something.
Okay,
Or it's
I
like
can,
her
I can see
imagination.
the allure. All right, fair enough.
It's like a bear.
All right, so what's up? Final words. Any of you? I don't care.
I think I'm done.
Kondar.
What is Kondar?
It
I
actually
think-
means ruin.
In what?
I don't remember, but it was. It's
Somewhere out there, I
that
just
is
said
actually from the Evil Dead movie, and that's what he says in his recording.
Well,
and he-
that's why I was laughing because I recognized a couple of the words, and I was like,
Well, yeah, Klaatu Barata.
yeah, I was like, what? The
And then I
fuck?
said Nephrotep instead of Nikto
Actually,
because it's supposed to be Nikto because it's from the day the Earth stood still and it was for protection.
yeah.
So that's why it ended horribly because he didn't say the words right.
Oh, well,
Oh.
it sounded like it ended in the beginning of Aladdin.
Maybe. Actually, that was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, you were playing the theme song for Arabian Nights. I'm just gonna reiterate.
I mean,
I'm choosing to exist in that.
You can choose that, I guess.
But yeah. All right, cool. Check us out on iTunes and Podbean. Also, check us out Tuesday nights, except for the following Tuesday, but you won't know which one that is.
Yeah, except for like 2 Tuesdays ago. Don't show up for that one.
Exactly. Check us out Tuesday nights for Carpenter, the live-action RPG, tabletop RPG.
Erperg.
Murger. And on that note, bye.
See ya.
Erpka.